The Committee on Environment, led by its chairman, Mr. S.K. Sun, MLA, and accompanied by other MLAs who are members of the committee, including officials of the Assembly Secretariat, officials from MEECL, Forest and Environment Department, Meghalaya State Pollution Control Board, made a spot inspection of Umiam Reservoir on Thursday, July 18, 2019. The Umiam Lake is an artificial storage reservoir created through the construction of the RCC dam across the Umiam River located near Barapani town and which was completed in 1965. The project is the first stage of the series of cascade development planned on the Umiam River, Umtru River and Cree River, designed and constructed as a hydroelectric project to provide benefits of hydropower. The 5 hydropower projects built by the erstwhile ASEB Stage 1 and Stage 2 and MESEB with Umiam Stage 1 as the precursor provide 185.2 megawatt of hydroelectric power. The details on the number of unit installed, capacity of each unit, including the year of commission, is indicated in the table. The reservoir of Umiam Stage 1 project comprises a main dam of RCC structure of 195 meter in length and 73.2 meter in height above the deepest foundation. The dam has a spillway with crest level at elevation level 969.50 meter controlled by 2 gates of size 12.2 meter by 12.2 meter designed to discharge flood water of 1,840 cubics. The reservoir also comprises of main earth dam of 463.4 meter in length and 37.2 meter in height above the deepest foundation. In addition to, the reservoir also comprises of another earthen dam of 167.7 meter in length and 17.4 meter in height above the deepest foundation for diversion of water into the powerhouse through a 2,057.4 meter long tunnel, horseshoe-shaped diameter 3.05 meter, an intake tunnel, a circular shaft of 3.05 meter diameter and height 28.5 meter, is provided with intake gates of 3.05 meter by 3.05 meter. The surface powerhouse at Sumer at the end of the tunnel, surge shaft and penstocks houses 4 turbo generating units of 9 megawatt capacity each. Total installed capacity 36 megawatt. The tail raise channel is 137.2 meter in length, leads the water for Stage 2 development at Sumer Power Station. The drainage basin extending over an area of 221.5 square kilometer lies entirely in the Greater Shillong area and comprises mainly of forests and agricultural land with a fragile ecosystem. The capital city of Shillong is located at the heart of the basin. Shillong urban agglomeration at the head of the Umiam Reservoir drains an area of about 25.4 square kilometer of the Greater Shillong city. The important tributaries of the Umiam River are the Umkra and the Shirpi, which flows through the city of Shillong from east-south towards west-north directions, join together below the city limits to form the Waroro River. During the course of the inspection of the lake through the old road leading to the Umiam Reservoir, committee was shocked to see that solid waste from Martin dumping ground has spilled over into the old road leading to the reservoir located few hundred meters down the road. In the upstream portion of the lake, the committee could see that the lake has become a dumping place for all types of garbage, which include plastics. Though most of the garbage have settled at the bottom of the reservoir, the quantity of garbage that was still seen floating in water by the side of the reservoir is still abnormally huge. During the monsoon months, storm water from Waumkra and Umshirpi carried along all kinds of garbage, which include plastics, into the Umiam Reservoir. Till such time the garbage settle down at the bottom of the reservoir, they continue to float. In addition to ton of garbage settled at the bottom of the reservoir, the assumption that the reservoir is also highly silted is evident from the fact that abnormally high amount of silt could be seen accumulated along the course of the Umiam River just before entering the reservoir, well after flood water receded after the rain. The committee is of the opinion that the entire urban areas of the state capital have evolved in old settlements which have resulted in haphazard growth and unplanned centers. Besides, the development activities have not kept pace with the growing demand for which the status of physical and social infrastructure is below the desired standards and stretched to all limits. Further, in the absence of sewerage system, wastewater comprising of sewage, including sullage and effluent from commercial houses like hotels, restaurants, automobile workshops, etc., and also from the domestic houses, is either disposed of into individual septic tanks and soak pits or flows into the primary, secondary, and natural drains, and finally to the nearby Waumkra and Umshirpi, severely affecting the quality of the water bodies. Septic tank systems, though used by majority of the households, contributed to high potential for groundwater pollution. A septic tank serves as a tank, allowing the solids to settle. At the same time, it serves as a biological reactor, allowing the sewage to break down over a period of time, thereby causing a reduction in the pathogens. The waste from the septic tank drains into the soak pit, which allows the water to soak into the surrounding soil, thereby polluting the groundwater sources. The committee is also of the opinion that non-enforcement of the relevant act and bylaws has encouraged the commercial as well as domestic houses to discharge their sewage and its effluents into the available nearby stormwater drains or streams. Urban Affairs Department informed that the relevant act and bylaws are being strictly enforced. Department cannot rule out defaulters. State Pollution Control Board informed that despite the constraint on manpower, they are regularly conducting inspections to a certain commercial houses as well as domestic houses adhere to the relevant act and bylaws with respect to discharge of waste, and that they are also regularly collecting water samples of Umkra and Umshirpi River. Analysis reports, however, indicated that there is no improvement on water quality of the two rivers, over the last 5 years. In addition to the fact that expansion of the city has stretched to the limit, settlements have come up right up to the edge where the width of River Umkra and River Umshirpi has to be compromised to make way for construction of buildings and houses without any space left for construction of septic tank in violation of buildings bylaws. And in the absence of septic tank, wastewater comprising of sewage, including solid and effluent, from commercial houses like hotels, restaurants, automobile workshops, etc., and also from the domestic houses, is disposed of directly into the River Umkra and River Umshirpi. The water quality data of many rivers across the states on the National Water Quality Monitoring Program for the year 2016 and 2017 were analyzed statistically by Central Pollution Control Board, and monitoring locations exceeding the water quality criteria were identified as polluted. And depending on the extent of pollution in terms of BOD, the polluted river stretches have been classified as Priority 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In September 2018, the Central Pollution Control Board, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India, have categorized the 2 rivers of Meghalaya as shown in the table as most polluted rivers in the country. The committee is of the opinion that Wa Umkra and Umshirpi are now an open sewers. The 2 rivers are overburdened not only with liquid waste, but are overburdened with tons of solid waste, which include plastics that drain into the Umiam Lake. Constructed in 1965 for storage of water for power generation, the Umiam Lake is now under attack from wave after wave of garbage, and much of it is plastics. The deposit of garbage and silt in the reservoir is abnormally huge, as could be seen by the naked eyes. Garbage and silt trapped behind dam reduces the storage capacity of the reservoir and hence its useful life. MEECL officials who were present during the inspection informed the committee that the reservoir was designed for a life of 100 years. He also informed that the quantity of silt deposited is about 0.5 million cubic meter every year. State Power Department, in a statement made by the Honorable Minister on the floor of the House, however, declared that the silt deposited in the Umiam Reservoir does not affect power generation. For many years now, state has confronted worst power crisis ever. The reason is not hard to imagine. Umiam Reservoir does not have enough water. Officially, the reason is due to inadequate rainfall. However, the question is whether the role of rainfall is being overplayed while other issues remains unaddressed.
So our duty is to see, inspect what are the areas that are highly polluted, and then to recommend to the government the ways and means how to improve the environment. So accordingly, in the month of June last year, we inspected the Umiam Reservoir. The Umiam Reservoir is a reservoir, a water storage reservoir, to store water for generation of power. It was constructed during the Assam time and completed sometimes during 1965. The dam constructed impound the water of Umiam River that flows from here, near Margisu. And then that impounding capacity would be, as per the design, to ensure that the power generation is not affected for at least 4 to 5 months, 5 to 6 months to be precise, when there is hardly any flow into the reservoir. So during those years, the power generation could be done very satisfactorily. The Umiam storage capacity was adequate to store the water during the summertime, and then to ensure that the water impounded will be able to serve the department for generation of power during the next 4 to 5 months during the lean season of the year. But over the years, the feeder rivers, namely the Umkra and the Umshirpi, which flows along the heart of the Shillong capital, the Shillong city, has become highly polluted. These two rivers, in the year 2018, have been declared by the Government of India, Ministry of Environment, as one of the most polluted river in the country. These two rivers carry the garbage, which include plastic, all sort of garbage, right from the polluted water from the household, and then the polluted water from the commercial houses, the polluted water from domestic houses, including with the garbage, is carried over by these rivers into the Umiam Reservoir. So the amount of garbage that is being dumped into the river through these two rivers, is really huge. When we inspected, we could see the plastic floating in the Umiam water reservoir, and some of them are deposited at the site of the reservoir. And apart from that is the silt that coming from these two rivers, Wa Umkra and Umshirpi, also the main river, the Umiam. So what happened during the last few years? The Umiam Reservoir storage capacity has reduced to such an extent that though we could spill the water during the monsoon month, hardly it could store water during the month of January and February. And after that, there's hardly any water left for power generation. So we are having a problem for generation of power due to the Umiam Reservoir being highly silted, reducing the storage capacity. So we have seen the capacity of the reservoir has been reduced due to the garbage dumping carried over by these two rivers, and then also the quality of water has become so bad because in the city of Shillong is unplanned. The Shillong city is unplanned, meaning that all the settlement has come up right in the edge of the two rivers. Hardly any space left for construction of septic tank. So in the absence of septic tank, whatever water is being flushed from the house, toilets, washroom, kitchen, flows directly into these two rivers. And these two rivers feed the Umiam Reservoir. So we have made a report, and at the same time, we have requested the concerned department, especially the Forest Environment Department, being the nodal department, what are the holistic approach or proposal to ensure that the quality of water during these two rivers improve, and at the same time, what are the steps being taken to remove the garbage and the silt accumulated in the Umiam Reservoir so that this reservoir could continue to serve the purpose for which it was intended with.